Being a part of the Marvel family is really just that. It feels like you're part of a family. I started with Marvel in 2009, and we're here at 2025. And having been a part of not just one character, but many characters that flow into different films and series, it's pretty special. My name is Heidi Moneymaker. I was the stunt coordinator and second unit director on additional photography for the Marvel series Hawkeye. This is us working with Florence for the first time on Hawkeye, her first fight on camera. It was a really cool scene. It was a flashback for the 5th episode. Florence came in, and within a half a day, she had all the choreography down. She was doing the rolls and the flips and everything. I believe she did some ballet when she was younger, which I think really helps her with a lot of the fight scenes. She's good with choreography, she's good with rhythm. She really takes great direction, and she's funny. No! And she's got sometimes a bit of a sailor mouth, like the rest of us. And with her cute little British accent, it really makes the day go by really fast. Here's the actual clip of the flashback sequence in episode 5, The Ronin. And it was a little bit tricky when we got into this house because the hallways are very thin, and so we had to work around this a little bit, but everyone adapted very well. And as you can see, we used the teacup, we threw in a couple of punches. When we put together our stunt previses, we generally try to lay them out so that once they're shot and they go to the editing room, the editor has a clear mind and idea of how they're supposed to be put together. Just like everybody on set, we all have our specialty and the reason that we're there, and ours is action design. But the editors, they have a creative flair, and their job is to go in there and take what we've sent them and to highlight different things. And I'm often very pleasantly surprised at the little changes and marks that they, put within the fight scenes and the action scenes. It's really fun to see it.
3, 2, 1, action!
What are we doing? I mean, really, it's Christmas Eve. Let's grab a drink.
Episode 6, this is Christmas. The second generation Hawkeye, second generation Black Widow, and fight styles are completely different. So it was really fun to balance them against each other and figure out how we could mesh so well in this hallway because it's designed as one big, long fight scene. Here we have the actual clip. You'll see that this whole fight is tracking through this office building, and we're tracking through these windows, and it was designed as a oneer. Obviously, we cut it up because there's dialogue in here, but it is a really fun piece when you watch it all in one.
After I kill Barton.
No, that's not what. Come on, you don't even.
We had the set designers create these big windows for us so we could keep the whole train moving the whole way through. One of the really important things there is your camera department, and they need to be really on point with our timing so that everything flows properly and they don't lose any of the actors or actresses, and that's quite challenging, so we were lucky to have a really amazing camera department.
Kate, where are you?
Once we get through this fight to the end of this, Yelena's gonna exit the building very Black Widow-like. She basically does a big flying pike out the window and runs down the side of a building. And we had both Florence and her stunt double doing pieces of this running down, jumping down the wall. It's kind of challenging and frightening, but she's so game for everything that we never have a problem with her. She's always wanting to do bigger and better action pieces.
That really hurts.
Yeah, it was sort of the kick to the ribs.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one. That was good form. But you did a really cool body throw.
Yeah, thank you. Stop making me like you.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. That was really fun. Bye.
She shoots one of her kind of grappling hook type things out the window, does a flying pike, and runs down the side of this building. So, of course, a lot goes into that, and I have to give a lot of credit to our stunt rigging team, Stage 1 Stunts, Michael Huggins, because they have a lot to do with helping us figure out how to do this safely for both a stunt double and an actress. Generally, your stunt doubles have done things like this in the past, and they crash a bunch and bang into things and figure out how to do it correctly, in which they can pass on to their actress or actor once their actor's doing something like this. Here we are behind the scenes of episode 6, so this is Christmas. This is Yelena and Clint fight, and as you can see, she's an incredible talent. Look at these kicks, are amazing, and up to the point where we weren't even supposed to go for this throw, but Jeremy, being the amazing talent that he is, just chucks himself into a massive shoulder roll. They're really incredible. These two together, man, they should do a movie together.
I didn't even push her. I know. She's such a beast. She's throwing me around.
Before I kill you, I need to ask you one question.
It's nice to finally meet you, Yelena.
I need to know what happened.
This actually took us a while to get going on the day, just because this scene was so emotional for both the actors, you know? Natasha, she's gone, and now he's kind of allowing her sister to beat him up. He can't fight anymore. He doesn't want to fight her. You know, he would do anything to get Natasha back. So this was a really emotional day, and luckily these guys can perform fight scenes while they feel this way, because that would be hard for most people.
You're lying.
What?
You're pathetic. You're so pathetic.
So you get into the end of this episode and you think that the final battle has culminated, but what you really see is that it's happening throughout the entire episode. So we've got, you know, the Yelena and Clint battle, we've got the Kazi and Maya battle, we've got the entire battle with all of the tracksuit guys. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. You just don't ever feel like it's going to end. So with the Maya character signing, this is challenging. We're doing an action scene and a fight scene. We had to make sure that we kept the emotionality of the scene, but still peppered in enough action so we felt like we were seeing her use that amazing leg. Then we move on to Kate and the Kingpin fight. And this was really fun. I actually got to second unit direct this. This was additional photography. And we did a bit of a comp shot. There's a shot here where Vincent gets hit with a car and flies through a window. So we comped the initial impact with the car, because you don't really want to hit anybody with a car going that fast. So we did 2 passes of that, one with the car slamming in, one with Vincent being in there and then out. And then we used a stunt guy on a wire and we yanked him through the window. But this was an extremely fun scene. It's a whole big fight in a toy store, so there's lots of options there of different things to do. Vincent is incredibly capable and an amazing actor, and of course, you know, Haley is super game to do anything she possibly can, and she had a really good stunt double as well. We were really lucky in this series because most of our actors had some kind of background in some type of either dance or athletics, and that's always helpful because then you're not starting from ground zero, you have a base there. And for fight scenes, if you have a dance background, it's the only thing that's challenging is usually making them look, you know, like they're actually making hard impacts, because usually they're much more fluid than you want to be, you know, when you're hitting people and kicking people. But you pick up choreography really well, you know footwork, you're good with rhythm, you're good with timing. So having those kinds of backgrounds are really great. And obviously, Haley, she's very athletic. She picks things up extremely fast. You know, we trained a bunch with her, but we didn't have to start from the bottom. She'd already had I'm not sure if it's a dance base or what. She's very athletic and very, very capable. Same with most of the actors. So once again, our incredible construction art director, everybody who created this toy store set, made it really fun for us because it was an actual set and it was modeled after FAO Schwartz. So for us, we went in there and it's basically stunt people in a toy store getting to wreck things. So we had a great time choreographing in there. Every film and series is different with regard to when you get the sets or what the sets are going to look like. Sometimes there's a set that's been created and you're shown the set and told, hey, choreograph a fight scene, choreograph some action in here with a little bit of direction from the script. Sometimes you're allowed to go in and create your own sort of masterpiece, and a lot of times when they're, you know, if they haven't built the set yet, you can make some recommendations or ask, you know, if the director likes what you did, if you did something really creative or cool, they might augment the set for you. So it really depends on the show and the film. When you're lucky, you get to have some input, but usually they already have an idea of dimensions and sizes, and you're given that layout, and in your rehearsal space, you have to make sure that what you do fits. The only tricky bit is sometimes when you get practically in a set, it feels a little different, or it's been dressed or decorated in a way that you weren't prepared for. So a lot of times we're moving things around on the fly a little bit, but we get good at that after a while.
Why would she sacrifice herself for you?
I think the whole series of Hawkeye really humanized Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner's character. I started calling him Marvel's John Wick, kind of, because this show had a lot of younger, up-and-coming, newer characters, and he's the OG. He really had this fun, kind of fatherly feeling in his character. It was really fun to see him playing this character a little bit differently, a little less superhero-y, a little more humanized, and especially on the ice with, you know, Yelena coming after him and him letting her beat him up and letting the world see what he felt for Natasha and how important it was, and that he would let her kill him probably because he feels just as crappy about what happened that she did. So it was a really good testament for us to see that these characters are human, even though maybe we don't see them that way when they're on the big screen. Thank you all for joining me. It's been a blast, and look out for Florence Pugh in Marvel's Thunderbolts this May. See you soon.